Hello and welcome back, guys, to another stream, game dev stream at that. My name's Mike, aka Decimal Punt, and we are in the Unreal Engine this evening. And the version we're using is 5.2.1. So, those of you that were on the last stream would have seen the work I was putting in. I think I was doing some landscape work. I was sorting enemy projectiles, and there was something else I did. So you can see this really super awesome fog effect I've created. Can you see that low fog moving across the scene? I always like to do a little recap during the beginning. But yeah, the graveyard's pretty much kitted out with the plots and the tombstones. What I'll do is I'll just do a little run through. Oh, that's it. I also added the bat enemy in to the game, so the enemy array is random every playthrough. It's pretty cool. And we've also got the movement speed now of the enemy array, so the more you kill, the faster it gets. Kind of replicating the effect of the original Space Invaders. You know, the more aliens you kill, the faster the grid gets. I have play tested this a fair bit and find that the balancing of it is doable. It's not too hard. And if we find it's too hard, we can always just adjust the variables. But at the moment, it adds 7.5 to the movement speed each time an enemy is defeated. So it is pretty cool to watch. And that is basically. The reason those projectiles are shooting at the bottom left is because the array is trying to get an actor location, but because the actor's dead, they can't fire at a specific location. So I need to look into that. I'm sure there's an easy fix. But tonight we're going to be sorting out the leaderboard. So if I just get hit. Okay, so at the moment, bearing in mind I did this leaderboard the other night. When did I do it? It was late. It went into the into the dark of night, should I say. So I got it functioning, but I didn't sort out the display. So what I've done is I've just written down a short plan of how the widget should be displayed. So at the moment, when you die, you get that screen behind saying evil triumphs. So what I want it to do is basically, when the player's dead, we will basically what will we do? Sorry, I'm a little bit tired. So we'll pop up with the name. The player can enter their name, and then once they've entered their name, the leaderboard will be displayed for 5 seconds, and after it's been displayed, the defeat widget will come up. And I was going to have the leaderboard stay there for about 5 seconds. I think that's a reasonable length of time. I mean, I could have a button to close it, but I don't know. I just feel like if it's just there, you know, and then you can see where, if you made the high scores, and then it just removes itself automatically, and then the player's given the option to either retry, click main menu. Same for the win game state. If the player beats the game or gets to, like, at this point, there isn't a kind of the win game has been set up. So if I just show you, if I play through a level, if I just clear the whole grid, I really like that fog effect. Dude, where are all the power-ups? RNGesus is not with me today. Right, the piercing attack needs fixing because at the moment it will just shred through everything. We're going to make that a one-time use. Oh dear. Right. There is a little tiny bug with the projectile if it's spawned in front of the an item. If you try shooting an item, it is on the bug fix list. So this is what happens. The leaderboard is displayed. It sorts the leaderboard by score, title, score and name, sorry. It's all placeholder at the moment. So what I'm going to try and do tonight, what I am going to do tonight is I'm going to sort out the death and win screen. If I just check my UI, we've got enter name, the high scores, main menu, pause menu, player defeat and wave clear. At the moment there isn't like a you beat the game, because we don't have an end point at the minute. You can technically just keep playing, which I quite like the idea of actually. I don't think there should, we initially planned it so we'd have 3 waves and then the 4th wave is a boss wave, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get the boss done. So yeah, at the minute the way it works is perfectly fine. So I'm just looking at the plan. So if I get the defeat, you're not going to show the leaderboards on a wave clear, because if you beat a wave, you click next and you go on to the next one. That's what this widget is about. You just click continue. It shows the score specific to the wave you cleared, and then your overall score and overall time. So yeah, I am just going to do the I don't need to do the win, so I can get rid of that. So we're going to do the death and the main menu to display the leaderboards. And I want to look at the array that I created for the high scores to see if there's a way that we can limit it to 7. I can also play around with the sizing of it. At the moment it gets displayed in a scroll box, which the tutorial I found, I have no idea why they did it in a scroll box. I've never known a leaderboard. I mean, there are lots of games with scrollable leaderboards, but this kind of arcade style game, you wouldn't be scrollable. You'd have 10 entries for the high score, I think, on average. So we want to try and replicate that. And at some point soon I'm going to start on the UI as well, because at the moment, if I just pause the game, the arrangement of these is perfect. And what I want to do, I want to kind of design a tiny little thing for the mana and the the health. So they will they'll basically have like a really cool like bubbly effect, like pixel art bubbly effect, and then I need to kind of do some design for the cathedral Gothic style like overhang kind of thing. So that will take some time though, and also top left is meant to kind of show the power up that you've got. So that will be like an image would be displayed in there. So let's jump into it. So if I start with the death, so if I go to the player, that fog plane is causing a bit of havoc. If I just temporarily turn that off. Yeah. I've just turned it off because it's making my fan kick in on my system. Which is mad. Like, all that is an image with the, oh, I can't remember. I set it up the other day, material. Right, so I'm going to come out of there, there, and there. And we are going on to the death widget. So we need to get up the blueprint for the player. So in here, comment, draw the high scores. Okay, so draw high scores in the event the player dies. Now, reduces, right, in the event the player is dead, play the sound. Set input mode, create widget, play defeat, enter name. Okay, so basically all I need to do, guys, this down the bottom here displays the high score. Okay. So, and this, the order of what happens when a player dies, we show the defeat widget, and then we give the option to add the name. Where's the high score though? Where is that getting called? Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I'm just having a look here. I don't even know where that's... There's nothing else in there. In the player info. Oh, it is there. Oh, I remember. Right, got you. Name score. Yep, I remember now. Sorry, it was a like 42-minute tutorial I followed. Okay. Right, I need to get comfy. Right, so if I go on here, I'm just going to label this as displays the high score widget and fills the hill score. I'll give this a yellow colour. Yellow's my favourite colour, FYI. Okay. Right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do the ordering. So if I go to where's the enter name? Why is that not plugged in? Hold on a second. Okay. Right, so once the player's entered their name, Alright, 1 second. We enter their name, the player enters their name. Why did I set that to be hidden? The player enters their name, adds it to the array, and then we want to remove that and then display the high scores. So I'm not quite sure why I did that. Let me just copy that. My widget. Sorry, I'm just trying to recap myself here. Bear with me, guys. Right, think, Mike, think. How are we doing it at the minute? When the enter name is brought up, we do that once. We set the name. We add it to the array. And you draw the high scores. Right, so they enter their name, and then after that point, it should then be removed. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this. So the player enters their name. The player enters their name, we add it to the viewport, and we're setting a reference to my name widget. Okay. Oh, I know what we could do. No, hold on. Oh my god. Okay, I've got it. We could do a Boolean. I know how we can handle this. Has entered. If I just do entered name, question mark. Right. By default, that's off. So essentially, this part here is drawing. Where's the high scores? Yeah, draw high scores. Right. So at the minute, we're getting we're getting the player's name. Right. So we're saying get the player's name, set the widget reference to my name widget, and then within here, once the player's entered their name, we add it to the array and then remove that widget. We get rid of it. Okay, so if I just get rid of this and chimichanga this down here, what we want to do is we then want to set the Boolean entered name to true. Okay. Because what's going to happen, we need to be able to kind of communicate between the blueprints. We basically want to say, okay, once the player's entered their name, we're going to set that data and add it to the array. And then we're going to remove the widget, which is this whole enter name, yeah? And then we're going to say entered name. But technically that should go before this. So if I just unplug that and move that along, this needs to happen before the widget's removed. Okay. So let me just try and neaten those up. There we go. Alright. So we're saying once they've entered their name, add it to the array, go into the player and say the name has been entered, and then remove it from the widget. And then what we want to do on the player character, we want to have a branch to say, has the player entered their name? If it's true, then we will display the leaderboards, which is here. So we're going to do the draw high score. I'm just trying to think. Draw high score. So then on here, we want to do draw high scores, which will add that widget. So draw high scores, and then delay of 5 seconds, and then no, remove from parent. Okay, so when the high scores is drawn, we follow this code, we wait 5 seconds, and then we will show this. Now, I can see one potential problem with that code. So basically, in here, we're saying after 5 seconds, remove the high scores. This bit of code is only going to be relevant for the in-game. It's not going to be the same as the main menu leaderboards. Okay? So, what I'm thinking is going to happen is this line of code, when the player's dead, it does the enter name, And then we're saying if they've entered the name, draw the high scores, and at the same time we need to set the entered name back to off, so it's kind of like blank slate. Okay. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is, because this line of code flows all the way through, I think it's going to draw the high score and then that straight away, because it's calling that event, but within the event there's a delay. So it's kind of like, I think that's what's going to happen. If it does, it's no problem. We'll just do another Boolean. Right, no high scores. See if that works. Is it maybe in here? I think I see what's happening. I see what's happening. I see what's happening. It's because when the player's dead, it goes all the way through there. So it's not even, because this isn't on tick. It's it's not passing through that point. So not a problem. Okay, I've got an idea. I know how to do this. Right, hold on guys, hold on. Just thinking. The player enters their name. I know what to do actually. When the player dies, create the enter name. Create the enter name. They enter their name. I know how to do this. It's just a little bit, tiny bit complicated. They enter their name. Once they've entered the name, we remove it. So it's at this point we need something else to happen. So I think it might be good. At the point the enter name is done, we add the name to the array once they've entered it. We remove it, but we need to have something to say go to a separate event. And then that separate event could be just draw high scores. Draw the high scores. After 5 minutes, remove that, and then we create another widget. And this high scores, at the moment, this is only going to be relevant for the def. We don't have a win game state. So draw high scores. If I put death at the end, so draw high scores death. So what that means is if the player loses on health, then it goes for this one. And then if we manage to get the other 3 waves with the boss wave done as well, with the boss wave, we can, what can we do with the boss wave? With the boss wave, we can basically, what can we do with the boss wave? With the boss wave, no. Why am I talking about the boss wave? Sorry. If we choose like, oh, after wave 3, that's the end of the game, then we'd have a draw high scores win. It would basically do the same, because this line of code is basically going to be displaying the player def widget. So if there was the event the player won the game, it would be a different widget getting drawn. That's why I'm doing 2 different events here. Okay, so draw high scores def. So what we want to do is we want to get rid of that one, and then we'll go into here, and just before the widget gets destroyed, we are going to call the custom event in the player draw high scores def. So we're just triggering that event basically. Beautiful. And then that enter name is gone. So then within the player blueprint for the def, we show the high scores, we fill it with the data, we 5-second delay it, and then we will draw this. I can get rid of that has entered name nonsense. Right, so let's move this down here to there. Move that along. And it's that simple. Okay. So now I can shrink this back. Displays the high score, fill it with data. After 5 seconds, the high score disappears and the lose game widget is drawn to screen. Let's test it. Okay, 5 seconds and then it should go. Five seconds, it should go. No? Okay. Why are you not destroying? Why are you... So it calls that, it showed the high scores. Delay of 5 seconds. Then you remove it. I wonder if it's because this has been called within here. I wonder. Because it's the player that's creating the defeat screen. I'll tell you what, let's undo that. Let's just see if that works, and then we'll know that's the problem. That's rather annoying, isn't it? Okay. Okay. Right, think about this, Mike. How are you gonna... Add to array, move from the parent. Have I got any event tick on the player? Not sure if I do. I don't really want to use an event tick because that might drain on the It might drain on the system. I'm thinking I could have 2 custom events in here. I could have one custom event for if the player's lost game in here. And then we can have a construct and then we can say, oh, it's so tricky. Enter name, do that. Okay, so I'm wondering if it's doesn't make sense why that's not doing what I need it to do. Okay, I've got an idea. Player died. Let's just have that. Right, you'll see what I'm doing. Okay, so when the player dies, draw the enter name. Do that. Why is that on the wonk? That's really annoying. That's really annoying. That's not straight. That's really annoying. There we go. Okay. Right. So when the player dies, we get their name. We get their name. Add to the viewport. We set that widget reference and then we say that the player has died. Okay. So what I then want to do is for the high scores, we've only got this in here which handles filling the array. We want to have a custom event. Oh, event construct actually. Right. So when this is drawn, we're basically going to check. We're going to say, well, hold on a minute. Did the player die? Is the player dead? So whenever the high scores is drawn to screen, we're going to say, has the player died? And what that's going to do, it's going to check this. And if that is true, then what we can do is use this code here. We can have this bit. Yeah? So we're going to do a delay. We're going to do all of that. Okay. Right, so sorry, bear with me. Draw high scores. Draw high scores. Remove from widget. Okay, so draw high scores. So right, draw the high scores death, and that is this one. Do that. So then what we want to do is unplug that. Select those two. Just move this off of here. and then this code will basically put in a high score custom event, or the event construct, okay? So we're saying this whole draw the high scores death, it will show the high score, fill it with the data, job done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to copy that and draw the high scores. Alright, so then the high scores, yeah. Why is that still looking on the wonk? Why does it keep doing that? Right, so we've copied that code to the high scores. So if I get rid of that, and then we're saying get the player died boolean. So we're going to cast. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm just going to player reference. Oh, I can't be asked. I don't need to do that. Hold on. I'm overcomplicating this. Player died. So that's the condition. Which means, because we're going to be using the high score for the main menu as well, guys. Don't forget that. Okay. That is why we're having this boolean. So, we don't want this code to affect the main menu display of the high score. Right, so when the high scores is drawn, we're checking the player died boolean. If that's true and the player has died, we are going to then, we'll then turn that off straight away after the true, and we'll say no. So we're basically kind of resetting it. And then in the same instance, we're going to have a 5-second delay. Remove from parent. So remove from parent. That will be, that should, because it's going to remove itself. Alright, let's just straighten that out. Okay. Oh, what's going on here? Right, so if the player's died, and that's true, we turn it back off, we have a 5-second delay, and then we remove the high scores. Ooh. Oh. I might actually plug the... Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Let me just do something quickly. So basically, we want to say to the system, the player is going to be the owner of this widget. Oh, bugger. Okay, so has the player died? Yes, they've died. Turn it back off. 5-second delay. After the delay, we're going to show the player defeat widget, and the player is going to own that. We show that, and we remove the high score. So that should work. Let's give it a test, guys. Have a bit of fun first. What do you think to the fog that I did, guys? Pretty cool, huh? It's a piercing attack, in case you were wondering. Oh, bugger. This should remove. Yes! Yes! Baby! Baby, I did it! It works! Oh, I'm happy with that. I'm spawning those, by the way. I put that in there for testing purposes. Maybe 5 seconds is too long. What do you reckon? I feel 5 seconds is too long. I'm going to move that down to 4 seconds, I think. Excellent. Okay, so let me just jot down what I did there. So that was player def. So we've got enter name, show the leaderboards, and then show the defeat widget. So, okay. So recoded the way the high scores is presented on player death. Okay, so recoded the way the high scores is presented on player death. Enter name comes first, followed by the high scores. High scores remains on screen for 4 seconds, and after that time it removes itself and displays the player defeat widget. Okay, so let's just add a note in here. That worked really well. There were no errors with that at all. That works really well. So we're just going to give this a comment. And we're going to say if during gameplay the player has died, hold on, if the player has died during gameplay, the high scores will remain on screen for 4 seconds before removing itself and then displaying the player defeat widget. And we'll give that a blue because it's like UI. I like using blue for like UI. It's a very nice colour blue. Colour of my eyes. I'll give that the same colour. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that is that one done. So now what we need to do is... Oh my god, how are we going to do this? We need to have... It's like we need to have a standalone button for like back. The high score is on a 1920 1080 canvas, so it's like you need to check. Oh, this is tricky. You need to check how are we going to do this? I feel like we're going to need a button. So when it's constructed, we could have it coming off of the false. Because remember guys, the true off of the player died is to handle in-game death and how the high score is displayed. But if I have a button on this high score that is by default turned off or the visibility is off, then we can have off of the false, i.e. when the high scores is displayed from the main menu, we can toggle the visibility of the button and we can say show the button. So that's perfect. Okay, let's do that. Let's add a button. It's going to be a simple button, and if I just drop it on there, and if I set the anchor to middle, reset 0.5, 0.5, and then we'll just lower it on the Y. And we want to... How did I have it for the other widgets actually? Hold on. UI menu. Let me just see. Oh, back. Okay, I'll just call it back. So we'll put a text box in there and that will say back. Sized content, and we'll call this back button. Render opacity 0. Yeah, okay. So what we can do, we can turn off the enabled and... Oh, actually, if we just do... Yeah, if we just turn off the render opacity and the enabled, that will be fine. Okay, so we've got the back button, so what we need to do is scroll down to the on clicked. So by default, we're going to say the is enabled is off and the render opacity is 0. So it's hidden, right? So is enabled and render opacity is 0. So that's a variable. So what I now need to do is expand this, and we need to say if the leaderboard, if the high scores are drawn. Sorry, I keep calling it leaderboards and high scores. It's high scores. They're both interchangeable. They're both pretty much the same thing. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the back button, and we're going to set enabled. Okay. And there you have it. Nice and easy. Easy as pie. Perfect. So we're saying it's enabled and the opacity is 1. So is enabled, opacity 1. Okay. And then in the event that the back button is clicked, I can just go into here. Okay. Okay, so first off, we're going to want to copy this. Actually, on the player defeat, did I play sound? Oh yes, we did. Excellent. Okay, cool. Right, so on here, if the player clicks the back button, we're going to do that. And we're going to copy this, as this is also relevant. It's probably going to need to come down a tad more actually. Okay, so we're saying when I click back, you want to remove yeah, you want to remove from parent, so so remove from parent. And if I just test this, so what we need to do on the main menu, we need to have a thing in here for when the player clicks high scores. So you have new game here. This whole blue section is to do with the settings. So you have quit settings. So quit at the bottom. All the blue bit is settings. So then we'll have a pink for the high scores. So we're gonna move all of that down. Make room for the high scores. To be honest, I could probably move this one up. There we go. Okay. So now if we go on here and get the oh my god, main menu buttons, right, high scores. Scroll down, on clicked. And we'll move that all the way up top. Okay, so when the player clicks the high score button, we are going to draw the high scores to screen. Now, the way, if I just come out of here, want to keep those ones open. So if I just load the main menu, Oh. And then so we want to find out the code for when the player clicks. Okay, so we copy that. So when the player clicks the high score button, when the player clicks the high score, we're going to new game, high score settings, quit. Yeah, okay. So on button high scores, set those ones off, and then we want to turn them oh, that's going to be interesting. Oh. Oh. Okay, maybe I need to add a button. Maybe I need to add a back button. Because when they click the high score, let me just put this code in. It's going to be high scores. Okay. Turn off those. Add to viewport. Oh my god. Right, bear with me guys, I'm just thinking here because I've got two different widgets. So this one handles the back button displayed. The option I have here is to just create a button in here. To be honest, I could actually just get that. Is that the same, roughly the same size though? It actually kind of... It's almost like... Yeah, actually, let's just use the back button we've got already on the main menu, guys. That'll be so much easier. And the back button is on... Oh, we need a controls thing. Why have I not got a controls thing? Hold on. Oh no, we do. Apologies. Our controls button is right there. I'm being blind. It's because I've done a few other games and the way I've done the UI is a bit different. Whereas on this game, we've got the system and the controls on the same kind of area. That threw me a little bit. Not a problem. So what we'll do is on this... Oh my god, this is... Right, so if that's drawn, we set... You know what? Just to make... Right, I think the best thing to do here is if I just create a... If I duplicate the button, I think that's the best thing to do. Have I got the sound effects? Yes, I do. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of that. Get rid of that back button. Okay, we're going to make some room here. Oh no, actually, I'll keep it on the same row. So when we click the button for the high scores, we set the normal buttons to off. And then we need to, if we... Right, we kind of want to copy this one. So if I copy and paste that, can I just rename that as... Okay, so it's in... Okay. So if we copy... so it's 0 on the X. And it's going to be hidden and not enabled. Okay. So now I'm going to get that. So when we click that, enabled visibility. Guys, I've just realised I've not had my music on. I normally have my music on while I'm doing dev. It keeps me nice and calm. I am calm. I'm surprised I didn't have that on. There we go. Right. So we're saying when we click the button for the high scores, we turn the left buttons off, but they're visible, but they're off. We show the high score. We add it to the viewport. And then we show and enable the back button. So then when this is done, when the back button is clicked, on the back button high scores, so button high scores and then button back high scores. So then we would set that to be enabled. We would get this and basically say that's hidden. So the button back for the high scores is then, it's not enabled and it's hidden. And then we need to remove remove from parent. So if I copy that, paste that there. We also need to have the sound effect, because remember all of the buttons have spawn sound. So what I'm going to do, we need to plug that remove from parent in. So I'm just going to make some room here because we need to plug in the spawn sound, which is player feedback for button pressing. So we're going to copy that, paste that there, boom, boom, move those back. Oh dude, why did that just get so messy? What is going on? So play the sound. Right, so if we make some room, I'll just move this up a little bit. Get that, get that. Spawn the sound. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, guys, I think that will work. Let's just give it a test. Oh. Whoa, whoa, hold on. Whoa, why did back just go into the game? What? What just happened there? What? Oh! Numpty, I forgot to plug that in, guys. What a silly Billy. What a silly Billy. I was like, what's going on? Right, why is it not showing the... Oh, I know why. Oh. Right, let me just go back in here. So we need to look at the bit that's drawing the high scores. Okay, so, right, let's just copy that. I'm such a silly Billy. Silly Billy boo boo. Make room. Okay. So that freaked me out. Hmm. Okay, right, I know what I need to do. Sorry, this is a little bit of a pain in the bum, but it needs doing. I'm hoping that will work. um, hmm. This is a pain in the backside. Um, so what we'll do is we'll get rid of that and that. And we're going to plug this into there. Because technically, the first time the player plays the game, there isn't going to be... there isn't going to be a thingy for it. So, a save file. So, let me just make room. Hold on a minute. No, not the BP save, thank you. There we go. That's because I'd copied it from the other thingy. Well, let's try it now. There we go. I love it. It works. The next thing is to try and limit this to a certain amount of entries. But it works, guys. I did it. High scores is working on the main menu. What I love about this is like you can just keep playing. At the moment, you can just keep playing the game. You can just keep going and going and going. So it's like you just keep playing basically. So there isn't any way to get extra health. So when you've lost all your life, that's it. It's game over. But that does the job. We get the highest scores. Let's just do a quick test. Okay, it's too long there. Okay, so we need to look at if there's a way that we can limit the string. That would be really cool if we could limit the string. Okay, that's two jobs out of the way. So recoded the way the high scores is drawn on player death. The high scores button is now working. Okay, I'm really happy with that. Let's save all. And what I wanted to check, guys, was if there's a way that we can limit the string in the enter name. So minimum desired width. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. Let's just see what that does. So by D, I want to see if that means we can only put numbers in. Let's just test that. I'm curious. Oh no, okay. Right, is there a way we can limit? Let's have a look into this, guys. Text box category. Text box category. Minimum desired text. Minimum. Does that mean how long? There has to be an easier way to locate. Let's see. There has to be a way. Surely there has to be a way. Dude, why can't I find an option here? I can't find a single option to set a limit on the on the words. I do have an option. I actually. Oh, that's good. Select all text when focused. That might be the option we need. Let's just see. Select all text when focused. So at the moment, if we click there, it just does that. Right? If I do that, I wonder if it will now... Oh, hey! Let's try that again. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's a nice little fine tuning there, guys. I wonder if there's a way that... Is there a way that you can, like, stop the player from typing if the... reads the value of text. What? Can we not get, like, length? Is there not any way you can count the characters? Okay, I'm not too sure. Enter name. Because if you just keep typing, like you hold it down, it will keep going. Like, we want a limit on... We just want, like, a limit of how much text can go in there. I'm going to put that on the list of jobs to do. Okay, so that's a job fix to do. But this long beauty is working. We display that. It's currently a scroll bar. We obviously need to set a limit on there. But that works. I wonder if you can word wrap. Can you word wrap the let me just check. So what does that do then? Ellipsis. Ellipsis. Okay, well, there's a couple of fine-tuning things to do there, but the high scores on the main menu is done. High scores on defeat is done. High scores on defeat. So high scores on... Hold on. High scores on the main menu, done. High scores on defeat, done. Let's just go into... let's just quickly box these up. I'm going to give this purple. Or that colour. Pinky. Okay. Right, so what we want to do is kind of get this one, move that down the bottom. Nice. I mean, to be fair, we could probably get that going across the top. That looks nice. Look at that main menu code by yours truly. I love it. Right, so now what we want to do is we want to set a limit. So we want to say, you want to have something to say like, you know, 10 entries limit maximum. So at the moment we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's obviously quite a lot of space between those. So what you want to do, if I just go to the enter name, so that's where you enter the name. Where's the bit that high scores? This one. So this box is quite large. So that could essentially be shrunken down. But I want to just go in. I want to see if I can just sort this leaderboard to only play info. I want to set a limit. Now this code is pretty intense. I need another coffee, guys. Let me just boil the kettle. So, oh my god, this thing is so big. Great. Okay, so it's basically from the first loop, it's getting all of the information, and then for the second loop, that's where it's plugging all of the sorted last scores, last names, sorted scores. So that's the sorted. So it's getting the last name and adding that to the sorted names. Oh my god. Right, let me just make my coffee, guys. Give me 30 seconds. Trolley. Okay. Right. Now this this whole thing is terrifying. This I followed a 40 odd minute tutorial for, and it's fantastic. It does exactly what I want it to do, but it doesn't have a limit on how many entries. And what I need, or what I want it to have a limit of 10. So it's almost like at one point in here, do we say, I don't even know where to put that. I understand what it's doing. It's creating however many player info boxes, which are these. It's creating however many of those based on however many things there are. It's just mad. I don't even know where to plug it in. I do not know where to plug it in. Like, we've got last scores, last names, and we've got sorted names, sorted scores. Like, this whole sorted section here, this whole bit here is safe. You want to have a limit on how many. Or do I just succumb and say, just leave it like that? It can be a never-ending leaderboards. Like, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, this. I'm still very, very new to arrays, so just it's madness. Right, we're in the high schools at the minute. So it's adding those in there. Surely, can I not just remove like the lowest number? Hmm. Oh, dude, I don't know if I'm too tired, but I'm looking at this, trying to figure out where I can control the amount. I know that this section here is creating however many entries there are. Let's go to the enter name. Add name to array. Oh my god. I don't think I'm experienced enough to... I'm nowhere near experienced enough with arrays to kind of... I want to figure it out. And it's going to bug me. I know, it's you know when you have something that you just want to figure out. So this is basically just adding to the high scores array. Is there no way that within player name, player score? I'm going to have a look in the save file. Get children count. Oh, here we go. So if I get the children count, if it's greater, if it's greater than say 5. Oh my god. Let me just, I need to query this. Ah, okay. Right, so we're saying if the children count is more than 5, this is just a test. I can remove this code, guys. What we're trying to do here, we're trying to limit the amount of high scores, the amount of entries displayed, because I don't like it being a ridiculous amount. It's not that kind of game where you should have a scrollable leaderboard. I think it's a bit ridiculous. Okay, so if there are more than 5 children attached to the scroll box, we want to get children, get child index, content. Would that go in there? I think that no, must be that. Okay, so get the children and their index. No, we don't need an array. We don't need an array. I have no idea if that's going to work. I have no idea if that's going to work. But what we're saying there is, if the children count, so all of these boxes, the high score entries, if it's greater than 5, then we get the children's index, and if it's greater than 5, then we remove the children. I have no idea if that's going to work. Let's just try it. Okay. If I unplug that. Okay. If it's greater than 5. This is quite fun playing around with this, because this is new to me. I'm learning stuff here. Oh no! There's too many children. Okay. Alright. We know that's working. Okay. It's like you want a loop to say, if the index is greater than 5, delete it. But it needs to be done multiple times. So I think we need a loop, but I don't know. Can you even... I don't want to mess this up. If index... Surely that would go in there though. If the amount of children is more than 5, you want to say if the child's index is greater than remove it. That's what you want to do. That's what we want to do. So we want to say get the child's index. If it's greater than 5, ooh! If it's greater than 5, delete it. That's what we want to do. Oh my god! Fuck yes! 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god! Guys, I solved it! And that felt like a record time. What, 20 minutes maybe? No, I know I was looking through the array and was like, at what point on here can I tell it to do this? I think I've done it. So if we change this to 8, that should mean more entries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I change it to 2. So computers count from 0 as 1. So if we say 2, then that will have 0, 1, 2. So that will have 3 entries. Oh my god, I'm a goddamn genius. Oh, that feels good, baby. Oh, that feels really good. Okay, so now what I can do, if I set that at 9, that means we're going to have counting from 0. So 0 being 1. And then we have 2. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th number in our counting is number 9 in computer counting. Okay? So that allows us to have 10 entries. So now, all I need to do is basically say I need to basically resize this. So if I say 400, oh no. Hold on, what's going on? Right, that was at 500. Let's try 50. Oh, that's better, isn't it? Let's see how that looks now. Ugh. Right, so if we go on to... I can't believe I did it. I am so proud of myself. Player info, enter name. We're okay with the enter name. So what we want to do... oh God, I can't think. It's the size box, isn't it? So we need to go on to high scores. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I need to get these to be... I need those to be less space between them. You would have thought on here... Height override. Got it. There we go. How's that? So if I get a score that's 500, it should knock this one off and bring everything down. Let's get a score of 500. And then oh no should be at the bottom. Oops. I forgot the bats give 500. Okay, let's get an even higher score then. Let's go for... Let's get 2 bats. Oh no should basically appear at the bottom. Okay, maybe what I did was wrong. Okay. Right, I see what's happening. Basically... Right. I see what's happening. Because we have basically the child index is going to be different to whatever the index is. Like, the ordering... Oh, it's complicated trying to explain this, but you have separate indexes. As you can see on the left, we have last names, sorted names, last scores, sorted scores. They're all going to have their individual index within the arrays. So the child index is going to be completely different, because what it's doing is it's going into all of the other arrays, getting all of their kind of information, and then it's like sorting those arrays into whichever is the highest score. So, God. I mean, what I've done, like if I unplug that, I have shortened well, I've reduced the space between it, so yeah, so basically, oh God. Oh, dude. It's almost like too late to be trying to figure this out. Are those high scores too close together? I think that's a decent space between them. I thought I'd sorted it. I kind of did, but it's there's so many different indexes going on. I'm just going to print screen that because that did kind of work. If I then get rid of that. It's like you want to have a condition to say if the index is less than a thingy, then you get it and make the children. I'm going to try something. Right, so we want to say for each loop, if the index is less than 9, was it 9? Let me check my screenshot I did. If the index is less than, let's just do this as a test. If the index is less than 5, if the index is less than 5, I really don't know if this is going to work, but in my head, I can't see why it wouldn't. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if that would work. So basically, it'll be interesting to see if that will work. Let's give it a go. If it doesn't, we just plug it back in. Dude, have I done it? No way. Holy fuck, have I done it? No way! Come on. No. No. No, you're joking. I haven't just done it. Come on. Don't play with me like that. Come on. Okay, alright, let's test this. Right, well, let's do a print screen of that. We need to get a score that's, say, 2,000. Alright? And then that should knock off the bottom one. Actually, if we go for 3,000, then it should sit between testing and 1, 2, 3. So let's go for 3,000 score. I haven't just done that, have I? We need 3,000, don't we? No fucking way did I do it. No, I'm sorry for the swearing, guys, but I'm quite proud of myself. No way. Oh my god, I'm a genius. Right, side-by-side comparison. Side-by-side comparison, guys. Let me just shrink this down. Right. Look at that. So, I got a score above second try. So I got a score above second try. So I got 3,000 and it slotted itself in between the testing and 1, 2, 3. I think I've done it. And how many entries is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need to add 2 more. I can't believe I've done it. So if we add, if it's less than 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Guys, I've done it. I have done it. I feel like a king right now. Oh, that feels so good. It feels so good. Oh, dude. And the scroll bar's not there. Because the entries aren't exceeding the size of the scroll box, that works really well. I'm so happy with that. I can't believe I did it. I don't doubt myself, but I was just like, there has to be a way. There has to be a way where you can kind of let it still create, because all it's doing, it's just adding kind of text data. It's just adding what the score is and what the name is. So, you know, it's pretty kind of straightforward. And I guess we could have a button to kind of clear the array. We could have like a secret button to clear the array. So, or even a button to reset the high scores, like clear the high scores. That would be quite a cool feature. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I am so happy with myself. Right, so if I just select this, because this code here, I'm just going to print screen that in case anything further down the line goes awry. But that was the... Oh my god. Dude, I did just click that. Why did that not... There we go. I'm going to do that as high... backup, high scores, array. Just so that if anything did go wrong, I can just re-plug that in. So I can now get rid of that. So basically what we're doing there is we're saying only create a child if the index is less than 10. Yeah? So basically if it's from 0 to 9 it's added, and 0 in computer is like the 1, right? So then it counts from 0 to 9, which is a total of 10. So that beautiful bit of code right there, guys. It just does it. It works. I am so happy with myself. There is nothing more rewarding than something like that, where you're just like, you're looking, bearing in mind, I'm not experienced with arrays. When you look at this big chunk and you're like, where the hell would I tell it to either remove from the array or only show what we want to be shown, as in the top scorers, right? And I was just looking down here, and then I realised, I understood from looking at the loop and the branch and, you know, the original code. If I just bring up the original one, I was looking around here and I could see, okay, for every loop it was creating a player info widget, which is basically the player's name and score. And I was like, okay, so if that's the point, that is creating those and adding those as a child to the scroll box, then surely there must be a way we can limit the amount of children in there. And that's what I did with this code here. I literally said, if the index, like we had the branch, like a gateway if you like, and it said if the array is less than 10, then add it as a child. And that's what that code does. So it will literally only add the top 10 scores, basically, from the sorted arrays. I'm so happy, guys. I did it. I solved something that I thought would be really difficult, but just a little bit of experimenting with the code. Oh, I'm so happy. I am so happy right now. Oh, dude. Okay, so additional code has been added to the high scores array to limit and display a maximum of 10 entries, the top 10 high scores. Limit of 7. I think 10 is a really nice amount. Like, if we just go back there, guys. Like, 10 fits really nicely. Obviously, this isn't the final look. There will be a different font. The alignment of the text I can play with. The size of the scroll box. So, I can rejig that to make it look nice and luscious, basically. So... really happy with that. It does the job. It does the job. Let's just get another score and knock Bob off, shall we? Let's go for 2,000. Bob's gone. Bob be dead. I'm so happy, guys. What a great live stream. What have I done tonight? I've recoded the way that the player death widget is displayed, like the order of widgets being displayed. I've sorted that out. I've sorted the main menu high scores button. I've changed it so that when you actually click on the box to enter your name, it automatically selects all the text. Before that, it didn't. You'd have to select all, and that was a pain in the butt. And then we've added the code there to limit and display only the top 10 entries. I'm so happy with myself. I've literally got what I set out to achieve. I've done the death screen. I've done the high scores. That can be ticked off. So the next stuff I can jump into, the juicy stuff, is going to be, I would like to make a start on the in-game HUD. And essentially, I'm going to do this in Photoshop. It's going to be a 1920 1080 canvas. So it will match the in-game screen, and I'll anchor it to the center. So if the game resolution's adjusted, that widget would adjust with it. But I just want to do... like, the easiest bit for me to do at the moment is to do... I like this idea of having the health and the energy in a kind of almost like glass looking like container. So like with bubbles, like pixel bubbles. So I might do that. The rest of the UI is going to be kind of like gothic cathedral like texture, like brickwork or sandstone. I'm not too sure, but it's gonna take a little bit of time just to make sure it looks right. It has to fit with the theme, like the color scheme as well. So I know that the vial section though for the health and the energy can be done, because at the moment, if I show you in game, you can see how big they are. So I need to like decide on, okay, how can we present the score and the timer to a player? Like, what kind of gothic medieval kind of design could we do there? Like, glass stained would be really cool, but the two panels are kind of different, because the idea of the top left is that it's going to have the like a little icon for the power up the player's collected. So I mean, even something like a little stone gargoyle would be pretty cool. If you had like a stone gargoyle that was kind of almost like holding a tablet, that would be really cool. Like a stone goblin, and they could be just holding like that. I think that would be really cool. Actually, I might actually work on that. Yeah, I'm not going to live stream that though. I mean, I could do, but it might be a little bit boring to watch. But I'll play around with that, see what I can do. I'm gonna call it there, guys, because it's 3 hours in. I've done what I set out to achieve. If I just have a quick look at the title of the stream, actually, because I can't remember. What did I label it as? Final work to high scores and visual effects. Okay, so I didn't do any visual effects, but I completely nailed the high scores. The high scores are done. They are dusted. It's fantastic. I'm so happy with it. Sorry, I'm waffling. If you guys enjoyed the stream, do feel free to follow to stay up to date. You can also check out my YouTube channel. There's a panel below. I post all of the game dev streams there, so they're archived. There's a ton of videos there, so if there's anything you want to watch back, any particular area of making a game that you want to know about, whether that's in Unreal or Unity, go check it out. Feel free to subscribe as well. Stay up to date. So yeah, thanks for joining tonight, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next live stream. Ciao, ciao.